On the playlist today, we do a retro review of Street Fighter, the live-action movie from 1994. So stay tuned to Metro Kingdom Radio, and welcome back to the Switch side.
Mortal Kombat! Raul Julia! Rest in peace. Rest in power, I should say.
You guys just talked all throughout that intro. I highly appreciate it. Welcome.
Too good for this movie, man.
Everyone.
Resting in Bisonopolis.
To Movie Kingdom Radio. Metro Kingdom Radio presents Movie Kingdom Radio. It is I, your host, the best by far. It's me. It's J-Playstar. And here with three of my most Bisonop list the co-hosts here tonight. First off, we have ROB the Rob.
Woo, I'm first.
Reunion.
It took me a while to figure out where I want to go there.
And Louis. Today is a special day because for some reason Ryu thought that it would be great for us to do a review of the Mortal Kombat of the Street Fighter live action movie, and Rob was like, I'm kind of down. And for some reason, Chris and Kyo couldn't make it tonight, and that's just how the ball rolls. So then I call up my good old buddy Louis, and we're like, hey, I need you to watch a crappy movie.
I appreciate that I was considered second.
I just want to say I'm not afraid to admit when I'm wrong, and let me tell you, this was not a good idea. Oh my goodness. Well, I
doing, everybody. Have a good night.
Yeah, right. Sorry, Louis. Sorry, Chris was smart.
Show.
To get the hell out of this. He's like, you know what? I'll take this week off. I'll be fine, guys.
Well, I think both of them were, traveling in some way, so that's why they're both.
But even if even if they weren't,
traveling far away from this movie.
Yeah, right.
So what we're reviewing is Street Fighter, the live-action movie from 1994, starring Jean-Claude Van Damme. Which I want to say, I need to have a correction here. I think on the last pod or 2 pods ago, I said that he was French. No, he's Belgium. So there's my correction.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that actually.
Right?
Cool.
There a difference?
Yeah,
Yeah, there is.
And
Where's Belgium? I don't know. Geography? Anybody?
There's a big difference, Rob. Okay. One of them.
You can't watch Austin Powers 3 without knowing about Belgium. You know that, right?
One of them has a type of cake that is chocolate? Coconut and stuff.
France.
So.
Oh, it's the country next to Germany.
During this time, Jean-Claude Van Damme was
in between France. Interesting.
The biggest. Is it?
Yeah.
Is what was the biggest action star during this time period, and all of us, we were all kids during this time, so to us we were like, Jean-Claude Van Damme, that's the guy from who fought Bolo.
Who fought Bolo?
Yeah, man. But yeah, from Bloodsport, man. And also it starred the late great Raul Julia.
It was too good for this movie, man.
It was too good for this movie.
His son fucked him, man. His son.
He did it for his kids.
He would have went out on top, but his last movie was Street Fighter. That was his son's fault.
Honestly, he's the best part of the movie easily.
No, dude, Raul Julia.
Zangief is the best.
And him and Zangief.
Zangief
has the best one-liners.
Yeah.
Yeah. Carried the whole movie, man.
So with Raul Julia, I want to say something because
turn off the TV.
No, change the channel.
It was quick.
Change the
channel.
Obviously, he wasn't that memorable because Rob messed up the line. So
I always mess up lines.
He only had 4 lines, dude.
Rob Liner. Yeah. So with Raul Julia, it was very interesting when I had seen this movie. because I think I was bothered at the fact that he was M. Bison. Because one, everyone kept talking about him like he was the greatest guy ever, and as a dumb kid, I had no idea how good this guy was, and I didn't know who he was. And then of course I later realized this guy was Gomez Adams. How do I not know that? You know what I mean? Like that movie was great.
That's how good.
He was also I think his
Da-da-da-da.
best performance was he played Oscar. It's like a priest or a pastor from El Salvador. That's like I saw that movie in school for like a political class, and it
He
was
also
like,
played M.
amazing.
Bison in Street Fighter.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a classically trained actor, but
He was a good guy, right?
But I remember as a kid, I was bothered because I was
All
like,
villains in that movie.
I was like, one, why is this guy's eyes so big? And two, like,
fucking huge.
and then two, he looked really skinny. But then that's the messed up part, right? So what I found out was that apparently Raul Julia had just like he was diagnosed with stomach cancer prior to like after he got signed on to this movie, and then he went through chemo for it, and then like after he was done, he went to start filming for this movie. And what's crazy is that he started filming for this movie, but they had to film the movie in reverse because normally they do talking scenes then action scenes, right? But because he was so skinny, they did action scenes first so that like would give him time to like get meat back on his face and like be more healthier looking for when he does his talking lines. And so, but apparently he did all his own stunts in this movie. And what's even crazier is he just went through chemo, but they didn't know that his cancer was terminal. So he still had cancer while filming this movie. And and did all his own stunts and like put on such crazy performances during this movie. And then
legendary.
And he passed away.
He was Chadwick Boseman before Chadwick Boseman became Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah. and he passed away before the movie came out. And like Louis was alluding to earlier, the only reason why he signed on to this was because his kids were big Street Fighter fans, and so his kids were like, "Do it, Daddy," and he's just like, "For you, I will," So, but yeah,
he's like, dude, are video game movies pretty good these days now? Yeah, Daddy, go ahead. Yeah,
yeah.
It's only early '90s. You'll be fine.
I just wanted to get through some of these like very interesting facts that I found out prior to this movie. This movie had a budget of $34 million, right?
Damn.
Which is pretty small-ish when you kind of think about it. But then again, this was 1994, so I don't know how big
That's
that
crazy
was.
because they got a pretty good cast for that budget. Because if you look at, obviously you have Jean-Claude Van Damme, Raul Julia, but you have Kylie Minogue. You got the guy who plays Dawson won an Academy Award in he didn't play Gandhi. He plays one of the characters in the movie Gandhi.
What? Wait, is Kylie Minogue like Cammy?
Yeah, Kylie Minogue was Cammy. Yeah,
and they had Mulan in the movie too.
Yeah, Ming Na Wen. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And so what was crazy about knowing that, Ryu, is that was the budget, right? About a little over $8 million of that went to paying for Jean-Claude Van Damme's contract.
Damn.
And they should have paid for an accent coach.
Yeah, Gee. And so like
no, he's American. That's what he's supposed to sound like.
All right.
So $8 million of that went to him, and then like another big chunk I'm sure went to Raul Julia, and so for the rest of it, they had to get like actors who weren't as big, and because at the time, I don't believe like Kylie Minogue was only big in Australia, which she was only signed into the movie because they were filming in Australia, and they said, well, we want you guys to put someone in. Like cast someone from here, and so that's when they were like, okay, fine, we'll get Kylie Minogue. She's big over there.
That was either Kylie Minogue or Tame Impala, but they weren't born yet, so they couldn't put them in.
Yeah, and so, but what's even crazier, right, is that like the director, D'Souza, he actually cut some of his. Yeah, okay, he cut.
You're wondering who Kylie Minogue is, yeah.
He cut his actual like. Pay so that he could pay the rest of the actors because they ran out of money. Yeah. And so you can totally see like everything about this movie that like they didn't have enough money to really go through like training them how to fight. Which is so crazy to think about. Yeah, and
everything looked pretty
Bless you. So knowing all those random facts that I'm just thinking of right now, when this movie came out, like I mentioned, we were all kids. I'm pretty sure we were all pretty big fans of Street Fighter, and we liked it enough to maybe go watch it. So I just
Heck
really
yeah, I wanted to see what Blanca was gonna do.
Okay, so like
Oh,
that's
God.
what I want to ask. I want to ask like how big of like of a fan, or like what was your history with Street Fighter when you saw this movie around this time? So Rob, let's start with you because you mentioned Blanca.
My history with Street Fighter was again playing it at my cousin's house because they were big fighting game fans, so they liked Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter, and so whenever I went over there, that's what we would play.
You like Blanca, huh?
Yeah, and I liked Blanca, even though I didn't really know what I was doing.
You just keep hitting attack, and then he'll just like do his electric move.
Like, you gotta use charge moves, Rob. I am charging. I'm charging electricity. See.
How about you, Ryu?
So obviously, like I had Street Fighter 2 Turbo for the Super Nintendo, but it was kind of interesting because I think this was also around the time when Mortal Kombat was coming out. So when this movie came out, I think Street Fighter was like considered kiddie at that point. You know, like because how gory.
Well, Street Fighter came out first. The movie came out first before Mortal Kombat did. Yeah.
Right.
Talking about the
Like
games.
the video
Oh,
games.
sorry.
Yeah. So as a kid, I thought it was super cool, and I didn't question anything. And now as an adult, I question everything. So I have so many questions. I mean, okay. Let me ask you this. Let me ask you guys this. Okay, do you guys think there are more Japanese people in this movie or more Cherokee Native Americans in this movie? What do you guys think?
Do you know the answer to this question?
It's Cherokee.
There's like 2 Japanese people.
It's Cherokee.
More Native Americans?
Cherokee?
Yeah, Cherokee.
Native Americans. Yeah, Cherokee, yeah. So the guy who plays T-Hawk is actually Cherokee. Nice casting.
I
for
mean,
that,
he
I
looked like
think.
he was.
Yeah. And then the guy who plays Sagat is also Cherokee, even though he's supposed to be Thai. So good job.
That's another thing, right? But we can get into that. How about you, Louis? What was your like history with Street Fighter?
Oh, I mean, I lived in Long Beach, and there was an elementary school behind my house, so there's Street Fighter every day.
2 guys right here.
Yeah, the two guys in the intro. Yeah. Every single day. No, a buddy of mine had it on.
Get away from my
Nintendo,
car!
when we were growing up, so yeah, we played. I think that's what got me into like
Fighting games.
my FGC stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, I played it a lot as a kid, but then I didn't realize like how much of it like I kept with me when I got older.
Mm-hmm.
So like when I got older, like I still had like that drive to play fighting games. So I think yeah, so as a kid, I'm like, it's like whatever. It's kind of like a competitive game. Like that's my first game where you fight against somebody, not like co-op, like how other games were. So I thought it was cool. And then yeah, I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed it as a kid. I thought it was a cool concept. So
yeah. So for me, it was I think my cousins all. It was so weird because every cousin had a different version of the game. Because Street Fighter 2, because there's the Street Fighter 2, then there's Turbo, then there's the new challengers, and so I was lucky enough to have
milking it.
I was lucky enough to have the new challengers, but I didn't have Turbo. So like when one of my cousins had Turbo, I was like, oh my gosh, what is this? Why is it so fast? Like everything's so different. But yeah, so I mean, I loved the Street Fighter games, as a kid too, because just having like, me and like my cousins and like I think even one of my uncles like had it. So it would always be one of those things. If you were over, it's like let's play some Street Fighter. Yeah, so I mean, I loved it. So I was like super excited when this movie was like announced and everything. And I think like even as a kid, I thought Jean-Claude Van Damme was awesome. So like,
yeah,
oh yeah, man,
yeah, Bloodsport, man.
I was excited for that
when guy.
Yeah, when he was announced as the lead actor as Guile of all things.
He has a flag on his American flag on his biceps, triceps, whatever. He's just like, this will cover up the accent.
This will cover up the accent.
I couldn't.
Yeah.
He was like from Belgium. Totally thought he was 100% purebred American.
I thought he was from Montana this whole time. It's like, wow, he must be American.
That Texan accent was really good.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Is that right, Johnny?
Choke on my water. Oh man. All right. So
I'm going to choke.
And so that it was very interesting too because like you guys are mentioning the casting for this movie, and so I mean there's some few things that like I want to like eventually when we get to those parts I want to talk about, but yeah, you totally meant like Ryu, you're spot on with how some of these characters are not actually like what they're supposed to be, like
yeah,
but they were.
E Honda was great.
I thought it was
okay?
a perfect casting.
I mean, if you look at it, like, man, the most accurate one, probably Vega. I'd say Vega is definitely the most accurate casting.
right.
They
No,
just
Balrog. Let's talk about that man's hairline though.
Hey, that's a good airline. That's
That Vegeta
accurate.
peak he got going on, dude.
Yeah,
And
right.
he was a good guy. That's tight.
Man, he was a good guy. Hey, you take what you can get, Byron Man, I believe, is Chinese.
Ryu.
He plays Ryu.
He's
Yeah.
from
Oh,
Or
he's
Ryu,
not
Ryu.
actually Japanese.
He's from Hong Kong.
No.
Oh,
That's why he was called Ryu, not Ryu.
it's a funny story about.
Oh yeah, look at that. His name
So
is
when
Byron
when
Chan.
when Ryu came on the screen, I had to laugh because he plays a character in a show that connects him to Mortal Kombat.
Oh, interesting. That makes sense. If you're an Asian character, the 6 degrees of Mortal Kombat. Also,
Degrees of
what's really
fighting
cool is,
movies.
what I think is hilarious is that this is how much they don't care about the Asian characters. There's a Japanese character played by Kenya Sawada, and his name is Captain Sawada. They couldn't even come up with a fictional name for an Asian character. Like
Sawada's good enough. Sounds
Sawada,
fictional.
yeah.
Let's go with Sawada.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I mentioned it before, like in our last pod, I believe.
I've
when
never
we were
heard
just
that name
joking
before.
about it. But yeah, so Captain Sawada was the guy that Capcom wanted to play as Ryu, but Byron Man was already promised the role by the director, and on top of that, like the dude Sawada, I forgot his first name, but he Kenya Sawada, yeah, like he couldn't really speak English all too well. And a lot of this movie had to have like a lot of banter between Ryu and Ken, so it's like, how's that gonna work?
But what's funny is the dubbing for him is just as bad, and like there's scenes of him talking because I guess you have to match the words to his lips movement. But
That's the guy with the messed up dubbing.
Yeah. So there's scenes where Kenya Sawada is off screen talking, and they still mess up the dubbing. I'm like, how?
Well, the thing is, I think that's actually him dubbing it still, though. That's what's even crazier. Is that like, yeah,
his English is so bad he had to dub over himself.
Yeah, pretty much. Like I think that's what it
Chan.
was. Like I think that's legit what happened. It was like that he had to essentially dub over himself.
I'm so glad the Asian guy said that.
Rob's
That's
like,
racist.
I wanted to crack this joke, but yeah. So here, let's get into the movie.
Yeah.
I took some notes.
Let's
I didn't
not.
do like a whole like plot synopsis, but you guys can help me out with that. So first off, what is that intro like music?
Right.
Like, the moment after the Universal logo is done, dun, 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 it was so loud. I was like, Jesus
I just say-
Christ.
The
You know what's
outro
funny
music is a
is,
little weird too.
The
Yeah,
what?
just-
Yeah.
The outro
But,
music
like-
is weird too, and then
Yeah, they really carried over like that 90s Bloodsport like music into this movie. I was like, what the fuck is this, man?
Well, what's funny is that like I don't know if you guys have this really funny movie called it's a Street Fighter Chinese parody called Future Cops, and it's like Heller just reminds me of that intro, even though Future Cops is like supposed to be a parody. When I saw that, I was like, am I watching Future Cops? Is this like a Chinese, like is this Chinese for you, Chinese guy showing up?
Yeah, man. It's oh shoot. Sorry, I'm trying to like post us like I'm trying to post a link of this stream.
You should
right
just
now.
watch City Hunter. Jackie Chan being
Yeah.
Chun-Li was more Street Fighter than this whole movie.
Hey, at least that's like nationally correct, right? Like, kind of, not really. I mean, I guess Ming Wan Nan is good too.
She was good.
Yeah.
She was good.
Yeah,
I
so-
love how like everybody, like even the military, looks like no one trained announce like ever in their life other than Guile. Like everyone just so like not fit for the roles. Was it Vega? Vega's pretty. That guy was shredded.
Yeah. I like
so
how, go ahead.
Oh.
Sorry.
go ahead, Ra. Go ahead.
Oh, I like how Zangief in every movie that has Zangief, is played by like a dumb like it's just I guess it's probably canon that he's an idiot. So, but I just like how Zangief in Street Fighter the movie is the same as the Zangief in Wreck-It Ralph. It's like the dumbest grappler.
Oh yeah.
You are not the bad guy, but you are a bad guy, but does not make you a bad guy.
You are not Japanese, but that does not make you not Japanese.
So yeah, this intro song is like blaring, and then we get Chun-Li Zhang, which is that canon? Is that her actual last name?
I don't want to know. I'm probably
What is
Yeah, so we get Ming Na Wen playing Chun-Li. We get Mulan. Well, this is Mulan before she became Mulan.
It was Zhang, but Capcom has not officially recognized it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and so she's a reporter for some reason. And so...
yeah, right?
Her last name is
what
Lee,
was that
dude.
about?
That's all I was about to say. Her last name's Lee, man.
So she's a reporter, and and it's so funny. Like they go like, M Bison is demanding $20 billion. I'm like, geez, did $20 billion even exist in 1994? Like, why is this dude like demanding so much money
for hostages? That's like what 24.
Gotta back up the Bison dollars, man.
Yeah,
Gotta back up the Bison dollars.
You gotta
worry about inflation, you know.
That was such a diabolical plot.
Yes.
It was like after like halfway through, you can definitely tell it was like for kids because it was just like, oh my god, like you're going through all this shit to get $20 billion, like it was like, and to make your own money with it. Like what the fuck are you doing?
Imagine if Chun-Li was like, and General M Bison is demanding for $20 bajillion, and all these kids are like, whoa, that's a lot of money. Like,
yeah, right. 20 trillion pesos. What does that mean?
Yeah, and so they started like taking in the hostages, and he's over here just like, they're just like throwing these dudes in the hole. Like they're just like, throw the hostages in the hole, like like the dude just straight up does like a front flip into the hole.
Yeah, right.
I was like, what is going on? And then of course we get like when Chun-Li's like trying to interview Guile, and he's like, no, but I want to speak to somebody else. And like, and for some reason, like they go, like Bison goes and hacks.
Such a douchey thing to do.
Hey, that was pretty hype though. You gotta admit, that was pretty hype that they like get face to face. You know, I thought it was kind of cool. Like, they would never talk at all. So at least I have some history. You know. Like,
but like, what doesn't make any sense, right? Is if he was talking to Bison, like he needs to have looked at a screen, but why is he looking at the camera? You know what I mean? Like,
well, he knows that Bison's looking at the camera.
Although, like, I will say,
Jean-Claude is Bison, okay?
Jean-Claude Van Damme's like performance as Guile had me like busting up laughing so much because I was like, what the hell is this Guile? Like, when you think of Guile, do you think of this Guile, or you think of more like maybe Captain America, right? Like,
yeah, and, like he's even more.
I think of the Belgian Guile. That's all I think of. Forever.
As a Guile main, because that's like literally who I played in Street Fighter 4, Street Fighter 5. I'm like, this guy's like he's like he doesn't say anything. Like he'll just say flash kick, and then that's it. And go back to be quiet. Talk about being a family man. It was whatever. But this guy doesn't shut up. You know?
Instead, we get like this Jean-Claude Van Damme acting all crazy and like saying, "Hey, you like to look at your face so much? Why don't you take a look at this?" And then
what the heck does that mean?
Yeah, and then remember Bison like dares Guile to come, and he goes, "Hey, anytime, dickhead."
No, but did you see Bison's eyes? So we're complaining about Bison's eyes being too big, but then his eyes opened up wider, and then they were like shaking when Guile did the thing.
Yeah,
and that's when I was like, Raul Julia was too good for this movie.
He
man.
really was. But I love the part. Remember, the guy was like, "Anytime, dickhead." Like,
this movie. Guile doesn't say that. First of all, he's a family man. But
you're saying this movie is made for kids for you. This movie was not made for kids because like they're cussing in here.
They're snapping people's necks. Like,
you know, apparently
in the first scene they're snapping people's necks.
Another fun fact: this movie apparently was originally, after like they filmed everything, it got I believe like an R rating or something like a high rating of something, like either a R or I don't know, PG-13. But like, yeah, it was rated R.
When I saw the movie, it was definitely rated R.
And so they had to like the you know Capcom was upset with that because they were like, well, you know, we know kids want to watch this movie, so you need to dumb it down. And so he removed a bunch of stuff, and the movie ended up getting like a PG rating. And then so like they had to like add Guile like saying some other stuff, and then it got them to PG-13. Isn't that funny?
You can only say dickhead once. Be careful.
But oh yeah, and so here's a funny thing. You guys were all mentioning how Guile acted so funny in this movie, right? Do you guys want to know why? Because this guy, because Jean-Claude Van Damme, yes, was high off of coke, like most of the time in this movie.
So
Like,
apparently,
what an American hero. What an American hero.
He was cheating on his wife
with Kylie Minogue.
And he was like coked out of his mind.
Yeah.
Just a recipe for success. I mean,
I know this guy had a
Look at him
great
now.
time.
Look at him now.
Ever since
Expendables and all the great movies.
Yeah, ever since Bolo threw him that coke into his eyes, he just hasn't been the same. Right?
He's got addicted.
He's like, hey, what is this powder on my face?
His eyes, dude.
What?
Blood snort. That's what the movie's called. Blood snort.
You think you can coax me with your coke?
I'm going to snort.
Yeah. And so here's another part where it's like, where he's like, "You hostages, we're coming for you, Charlie. I'm coming, Charlie." And I'm just like, bro, why are you saying his name? Like you're outing him. Yeah, you're like, yo, whoa, hey, Charlie should have just been like, God,
yeah, didn't he like roll his eyes or something? Was he like, oh, thanks, guys?
Yeah, because immediately Bison was like, Carlos Blanca, Charlie.
How do you make that? Like, how do you even make that connection though? Like, what Carlos you know is nicknamed Charlie?
Well, I think
right.
I know a few.
Like, how would you even like? Oh, you're Charlie.
I know it's true, right? You obviously must be Charlie.
Probably not the other two guys that I broke the necks of.
He snatched the name tag though, right? So maybe he took the name tag to see if that was him.
Yeah. And he totally was just snapping those dudes' necks.
It was so funny. He's like, "You came across the world to fight me," and then like the guy puts his arms up and he just snaps his neck.
Yeah.
I was like, "Damn, the Allied nations really got like really competent like soldiers here."
Okay, so like we get a glimpse of Bison's lair. Can I just say something? Do you guys also think that like Bison's henchmen have like cool suits? Because cool. Right? They're kind of cool. Like
I would rock that.
Right? Let me be a Bison henchman.
You would never have like worn the Ken and Ryu suit without the uniform.
Yeah, I'm talking about those. I'm talking about like the ones where they look like they're backup dancers for Powerline in Goofy movie. I'm talking about those suits.
With the helmets and stuff.
Yeah.
I guess we weren't eye to eye.
Oh man!
But see, he was all like, you couldn't see it.
Yeah.
I guess I didn't stand out.
And so let's keep going. we get like Ken and Ryu walking, and man, I remember seeing this as a kid, going, "That is not Ken. Like, what the heck is that? Like, why?"
I remember seeing a thing that's not Ryu. Like, that's Ryu. I forgot. Yeah.
It wasn't Ryu.
Yeah. I forgot. Well, you know, it's sad because like these Ryu is
for a lot of
reasons. The coolest character. Yeah, for a lot of reasons. Ryu's supposed to be the coolest character in Street Fighter.
He's the main character.
He's the main character, and like they make him a joke in almost every scene.
Yeah, he didn't carry his bindle. He wasn't barefoot.
You got beat up by Nerf balls, like. Bro.
I mean, but if you had told me that Byron Man was Japanese, I would have believed you. So I think I'm okay. I would have bought into it. But Ken not having long hair really bothered me.
Ken looks like freaking Danny Tanner. Not Danny Tanner, but Joey from Full House.
Yeah, he does look like Joey from Full House. Oh my god.
It kind of reminds me of Lyndon Ashby from Mortal Kombat, the first one.
Almost.
Oh, but not as good.
What's up,
is that Luke Cage from
No, he's Johnny Cage. Luke Cage.
Also, Ken is supposed to be half Japanese too, which it's whatever. I don't care, I guess. You know, you already screwed up with Guile. You might have to go all out.
Oh, is Ken?
Yeah, I mean, it's like there's no standard here. Like,
yeah.
Wait, is that true? Is Ken actually half Japanese?
I'm pretty sure he is. Let me look this up.
Ken Masters.
He
sounds American. His wife Eliza.
Yeah, and then so we get like.
Isn't that how he ends up being trained with the same master as?
Yeah, I think that's the reason why. Yeah, so Ken's father is partially Japanese. Ken's mother is completely Japanese, so he's only like 25% white.
That's some strong ass white genes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
seriously.
right.
And he kept the master's last name.
Yeah, because it's like his dad is like a rich like family, whatever. So
Man, yeah.
yeah, man, yeah.
So Ryu mentioned earlier that Sagat was not Thai, which is also another thing that's news to me. But I did like the casting of Sagat because I thought the dude actually kind of looked like Sagat.
And he actually looks Thai. I thought he was Thai. I really thought he was. Yeah.
I
He
would
looked
believe he was some kind
indigenous
of
enough.
Asian.
It's ambiguously enough.
I heard indigenous. I was like, he's Cherokee. Yeah.
Yeah. So they go there and then they do some. Then they go that whole scene where like they're like, why are Ryu and Ken con men for one? And then they go and try to trick Sagat into buying their Nerf guns for some reason.
Yes.
And then they're like fighting, and then I have a note here saying, was that a Tatsumaki? But I realized that was not a Tatsumaki because that comes later on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The spinning kick that Ryu and Ken do where you can't understand what they're saying. Because I don't even think they're actually saying it, but
Tatsumaki Senpukyaku?
yeah, that's not what they're saying. Like, they
Just say it
I have a better time understanding Kurt Cobain. All right, like these guys are like, yeah. Go on. Sorry.
To me, it sounds like they're saying, like that's what it sounds like. That none of that sounds like I can hear Shoryuken, I can hear Hadouken, I cannot hear Tatsumaki Senpu. Like I can't hear that at all. Dalsim is a scientist, by the way.
Yes. The most interesting characters in Street Fighter are just like so like they do nothing. So that's cool.
Dr. Dalsim. Oh,
nothing. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
No, I just love how like 99.9% of the fight between like Honda and like Zangief was just them holding each other and rolling.
Yeah.
Just nothing until the end. It's like, I can't play with you anymore. It just dips. So I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Well, and so that's another interesting. So two interesting facts. One about the fight scenes. They did not get to plan them out. So a lot of the fight scenes were just essentially like made up on the spot. So like
they weren't too bad though. They weren't too bad for coming up on the spot. I'll give them that.
Yeah, they were real bad.
They were,
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
They were
I don't know if I could agree with you on that one.
Well, for on the spot stuff, they did quite a few references that I'll give them that.
The only on the spot stuff that was good was Guile. That's but yeah, and so
the double flash kick where they just copy and pasted the scene.
Yeah. and his double roundhouse kick. Yeah. Yeah.
Three roundhouse kicks. The third one sends Bison flying.
And so, like, another interesting thing too is that apparently they the director was also the one who wrote the script, but he also didn't want to have more than 7 main characters. But Capcom was like, nah, we want to have like 8. Every character in here from Street Fighter 2. And so essentially that's where he had to create different like jobs for these other characters. Like, so that's why Balrog's a cameraman and E Honda's a van driver.
I'm actually like, that's not that. I mean, that's kind of funny, but maybe cast Honda Japanese. Maybe his name is Honda.
Yeah, and so
that's where they make Hondas.
And then so that's why we get like Sagat and Ken are calling him Ryu, and because that's how we called it back then. We didn't know, like, before the internet was big. We all just thought his name was Ryu. We didn't know his name was Ryu.
That's true. I was one of those kids.
even the people in the movie thought his name was Ryu.
You think when he was like talking to like Japanese people from Capcom, he's like, man, I don't know why they keep mispronouncing Ryu's name over there.
And so this is where I actually got really excited when I first saw this, and even like watching it again, even though I remember what happens. Then we get Vega, right? Which I was like, hell yeah, dude, Vega is awesome. Then the guy takes off his mask. Yo, this guy's a good Vega. Like Ryu said, it's a good casting of Vega. They actually got a pretty good looking guy. Like, he could do the backflip.
Yeah,
come on,
barely.
man. That was cool.
He barely did it, but it was cool. Watch it again. He touched the ground, man. This dude was trying. He had to do that like on the spot. Like, I gotta learn a backflip in like 3 hours, man.
Did he have the claw on when he did that?
Hell no. There's no. There's no weapons, remember?
Yeah, so Vega was cool. And then but then it was kind of cool because it was like the background of the game, right? Of Vega's stage with the cage and everything.
Yeah, that was real cool.
Right? And then I love the part where like they ripped off Ryu's shirt, and then like the one lady who had like a Vega sign, she goes like this,
Put it
and she just
down.
like throws away her sign, and Vega's like, "Oh." I was dying when that happened. I was like, that face on Vega, man, is hilarious. But yeah, and so when we thought we were about to get some like crazy cage action with Ryu and Vega, then all of a sudden Guile comes in with his Landmaster and like just breaks through.
That was random. Was that random as fuck, or
Yeah,
or
it
is that
was.
something that's on the stage or something?
No, there is no
No.
like.
DC just drove it into the building, man.
I mean,
That should
Yeah,
have
it's
been
so
the
weird.
Small.
That been the first like hint that like Ryu wasn't Japanese, because like they gave him a Chinese sword and he did the Chinese sword style, and like and then he
Right?
threw it away, like a charge.
Yeah,
character,
why'd
and
you
threw it
throw your
away.
sword?
Like, you know.
I don't even know what's the point of that. Like they handed him the sword. And there's,
Yeah,
like,
because
there's, like,
Vega
this
fights with
presentation
the
it.
claw.
Yeah,
So
and
they're
then he
like-
throws it away, and then he doesn't even use his claw. So I'm like, what's even the point of that?
yo,
The point is he didn't know how to use it. That's what the point is. It's like, I don't think I can learn this, Mr. Director.
you're
I
all
learned a backflip.
you're all under arrest.
God, that's like the closest he could get to like a New York accent. Like,
Oh,
that's
it
so.
was great.
that's it.
Yeah, and I think it's also like because you know how we mentioned they didn't that like really like they
Train.
couldn't really like train them to fight and anything like that. So I think this is another way for them to just like avoid them having to fight or
Right,
just have Guile like burst in with the tank. Because for a movie called Street Fighter, let me tell you, there is not a lot of fighting in this movie.
Not in the streets, at least.
Yeah,
No.
Not
right.
in the streets.
Oh
You know,
man.
but what's stupid is that they like that's I don't see that excuse. I think they just ran out of budget because they fight later in the movie, so they had to fight eventually, right? Like
Yeah.
Ryu and yeah. So I think
Oh,
they just ran
dude.
out of money.
And then so I put here Captain Sawada's voice, which we mentioned already. Which I want to tell you something, guys. As a kid, I was thinking that like because I was so happy that every like Street Fighter 2 character was in this movie, and I was convinced that Captain Sawada was Fei Long because Fei Long is not in this movie.
Yeah, that's right. I wonder if I thought that. I don't.
He wasn't
think I
even Street Fighter
did.
2 though.
He
That's
was.
Challengers.
He was in Turbo
He was
though.
in-
Oh, he
Yeah.
was in Super.
Yeah.
No,
Super,
he's
yeah.
one of the new challengers. This is just like
Yeah, but
Cammy
the Street
D.
Fighter 2, like, he's not part of
Yeah.
the original cast.
Yeah, but it's everyone from the new challengers though. Like
But that T-Hawk and
Cammy,
Cammy.
yeah,
Yeah.
Cammy, DJ, and T-Hawk are all in
That's
here.
right.
So that's why I'm like, where's Fei Long?
I mean,
Yeah.
I think it was too much Asian representation. They're like, no, we're good.
And then I hear a lot of shirt ripping in this movie, which I think that they ripped the dude's shirt when that guy came at Guile and he just like roundhouse sweep kicked him and like on the
Oh,
table.
the guy in the
Oh, yeah,
office?
yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
what
that-
the-
Then they ripped his shirt off, right, to see his tattoo.
Yeah, his
That's-
pen drawn tattoo.
Yeah, that was a
Okay.
that was a piece of garbage tattoo.
Wasn't that the like a Red Cross, right? Or I don't know. Anyways,
It was like one of those like wavy swords with the snake wrapped around it.
Yeah, it's like
I
yeah.
actually, when I was watching the movie, I actually remembered. That's like one of the few scenes that I like remembered was that not even the shirt opening, just the sound of the shirt go. Like when I saw it happen, I was like, "Oh, here it comes."
The funny thing too, like after they took him down, the first instinction was just to rip open his shirt.
Yeah.
Check anything else, like they didn't go to his pockets or his pulse. Just rip
Nothing.
open his
It
shirt.
was just
Look,
like
he has a tattoo.
any more business? So I put in my notes, why are
Oh.
Ryu and Ken con men?
Why
and
not?
Then, and then remember when Sagat gets out of the thing and he's all like, you're not gonna get away with this, Guile. I own this city. And remember, what's it? Guile goes, well, I'm the Repo Man, and you're out of business.
Is that what he says? I didn't
Yeah.
understand anything. I heard he said, "I am the Reaper." Like like I'm death. I'm gonna get you. That's what I yeah.
Oh, I'm the Reaper Man. You're out of business.
Yeah, 'cause even later on, he's all like, telling Bison, like, your payment's six months overdue. Your ass is mine.
Yeah.
Well, what is Repo Man Guile? Go home and be a Repo Man? Come on, what is
Dude,
this?
What's up with Vega and his bamboo claw too? Like, how did you make that so?
Yeah, how did
He
he do that?
had to have
so
it, man. He was in
stupid.
prison. Like,
That's sick.
He gotta have his claw, dude.
How did he make it so fast? They just got
Ingenuity,
there.
dude. Ingenuity. Like,
Hey.
being in jail, you gotta stop him.
Hey, that's some scorpion stuff right there, man. Like I respect that. Like that's not easy to make. Whoever made that, that's where all that budget went.
Yeah, he had to find 3 shanks in order to make that. And bamboo.
Had to carve them.
And they were there for like 2 hours. Like, they were barely there.
Yeah, they were barely there. That's why I was like,
they got
where did
arrested
he
and then they
get
broke
that?
out.
Yeah.
And how does the prisoners allow that? Like they're just like, oh, that guy who uses a claw that kills people, he's making a claw.
You gotta stop him? I would stop him. Like, fuck that. You pick your claw, dude.
You
Mind
can
your business
leave.
in prison before something bad happens to you.
We'll let you leave. Just don't hurt me. Stupid.
Yeah, then like that's when Ryu and Ken go and like stage their thing because Giles like hires them. And then like
How does that
it,
work?
it looked like Ken actually punched Ryu on accident too. Like if you watch that scene again, it looks like there was full contact to that
No,
face.
I'm not watching it at the end.
No, we're not. No.
And then like
That's the only combo that exists in that movie. It's like, oh, how do I stop this?
Ryu, forget our past. And so they get the keys and go to the
Yeah,
gate.
just
And then
Like,
for some
okay.
motivational speaker Sagat. Like, how did he?
and then that's when Ken like for so wait did he take the gun from the guard or when did
Yeah,
he
yeah,
get that?
before-
Okay, he got the
So-
gun from
Kicked
the
him out,
guard.
Who was in on this plan? Because was T-Hawk in on the plan? Because it didn't look like he was in on the plan. I don't know what
He
the
was.
source
He told him not to shoot because they're about to shoot.
Oh, right,
him,
that's
so
right. Yeah.
He
So
told
what
him
about?
stop.
Yeah,
So I'm assuming the other soldier had to be in on it too, right? Because he's the one who gets his gun taken.
yeah, he did.
Probably
He was.
not. He got his ass handed to him though. So it's like,
Like,
he got-
hey, you're gonna get beat up, and he's gonna take your gun. Make sure it's not loaded.
Like
Well, 'cause
before he
he was
gets on
like-
the truck, Giles like, "Don't try to be a hero."
Well, wait. So, oh, right, because the blanks are on Guile. The blanks are in the gun, right?
Yeah, the
Well,
gun shoots blanks.
That's if that was planned with that guard.
I mean, they
Ken
both had
has the-
essentially
Ken,
they.
Ken
pop
really
top
Ken had
things
real
on
gun.
his
He really
chest.
had to try to.
You're
miss.
right. He had to
was
really just
driving
try to
at
shoot
him.
Kyle on his stomach.
Yeah, got Ken just
and moving at him too. Like,
Ken was like just like forgot about the plan. He's just like he's just a stormtrooper just missing. Like where he was like, dude, bro, like you're supposed to not hit him. Like, oh,
Yeah, I
sorry.
just didn't get why Ken was having to shoot Hadoukens out of his gun because you know what I mean, like it's my favorite move from the movie or from the game.
the non projectile short distance Hadouken. Yeah, I love that move.
well, I guess I kind of understand the part where they made everything like makes sense.
Yeah.
Like you're not throwing fireballs or anything, or you're not levitating for no reason. So like
Yeah.
they try to
That's
like
awesome.
make it kind of like believable. Because you know, 'cause Bison had those like magic magnet boots.
Yeah. Then I put here sorry.
Worst Psycho Crusher ever.
The,
I
the
put-
Back to the Future boots.
I put they escape. Sorry, LOL. Sorry, T-Hawk. Why is Balrog a good guy? Then like I laugh
Why
because
DJ a bad guy, dude?
then I laugh because I go
Yeah.
EJ Balrog.
they go Chun-Li says like Victor Sagat escaped and I was like Victor.
His name is Victor?
I was like his name was
Why?
Victor. I just thought his name was Sagat. Yeah. Then
Is it Victor Vega also? Like, who else has first names that we don't know about?
right? Well, we don't
Well,
know.
all 4 of them, the original names were different. The 4
Yeah.
boss
It's-
characters.
Instead of Thunderhawk, it's Tony Hawk.
That looked nothing like Tony Hawk. That guy wasn't on a skateboard at all. Yeah, the
Tony Hawk
DJ,
skateboards?
then the hacker DJ, the Jamaican kickboxer hacker DJ, like had such a hilarious line because why is he a bad guy for one? And then like when Bison they find out that Giles dead, and he's all like, "Hey, it's good for you, congratulations!" And he's like, "On the contrary, I mourn." Okay.
Okay, but like I swear, like there's a scene where because shocking news, the guy who plays DJ, he was born in North Carolina. But anyways, I swear, there's a scene where like it doesn't sound like he has a Jamaican accent. I think he just forgot.
No, it
He's
was.
like,
I know
hell
exactly
no.
what you're talking about. Yeah, I know exactly
Yeah,
what scene
yeah.
you're
He's
talking
like,
about.
hell no. And I'm like, dude, is that? Are you from North Carolina? You sound like you're from North Carolina.
Yeah, it was when he says, "Did the AN deposit my $2 billion?" And he checks it, and then like he checks the balance, and then when it says 0, it has like a sign.
Yeah. Like a
Bison, don't you
decline.
know you need at least $5? They're gonna close that bank account, man.
Yeah, right. Like, how does that happen?
There you some money in there, bro.
No, it's the savings. You need at least $1 in the savings. It doesn't
And
matter.
Bison's
That's
like,
0, man. They're gonna close that account, dude.
no, dude. And Bison's like, it's like I don't understand. I deposited 25 Bison dollars there the other day. Like, oh man, so where were we? And then so yeah, then Bison gives a speech, and Zangief's like, "That was beautiful," and DJ with
So
his like
funny.
hilarious facial expressions, just like, oh man, I love it.
Those two actually have really good chemistry, DJ and Sagat. Oh,
Yeah,
Zangief.
dude. Then they had like they met up, and then like Chun-Li, Balrog, and E Honda do that magic trick, and I just put LOL, E Honda is not Japanese. And then I put
Right.
and I put here, can we talk about how hot Ming-Na Wen looked in that outfit?
Dude, I mean, even in the black cat suit, where she's like,
Yeah.
because like she sneaks in the guile thing, and then yeah, but like her and Kylie Minogue, like man, like Kylie Minogue ends up slowly into the cami outfit,
Mm-hmm.
but Ming-Na Wen was hot from the very beginning.
Yeah, but then she stopped taking off her clothes, so that kind of sucks.
Okay, you know what's
Sorry.
funny is the outfits they're dressed up in. So the barrel they put Chun-Li in, it has, if you look closely, it has the word Capcom on it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
what's funny is that Capcom also made the Aladdin game, so I just thought the only thing I think of is Aladdin, is like the video game from like Super Nintendo and Genesis, because yeah. Anyways, go
Oh,
on.
I skipped over the part where she finds out that Guile is still alive. Like she sneaks
Yeah.
into the thing, and for some reason she's like, I found the tracker, why are they tracking this truck like me? And then Guile just like raises up, and for some reason was still wearing his fake blood vest. Like,
Yeah, how long was he
He was-
chilling there for, man?
Yeah.
For a hot minute. Like,
I was
Hey.
taking a nap.
Hey, whoever said Jean-Claude Van Damme wasn't a good actor, I mean, he's a damn good actor. Like he played dead for 8 hours. Yeah.
Oh my
Whew.
god. And he goes, what a woman. Ramon
Yeah.
Cruz in the chat, do a review on the Street Fighter 2 animated movie? No. we,
That's
we don't
actually-
do we don't do good movies here, okay? We
Poor Louis. Louis is seeing like films that like just get worse and worse and worse. It just goes downhill
no, I've
from
seen them
here.
already. It just sucks that I have to see them again.
Yeah.
We're gonna invite you here when we do the Double Dragon movie review. You're gonna.
I
come
was
back
just
again.
trying to say that.
Oh.
That movie's actually pretty
I
good.
forgot where I saw it. It's somewhere that I can watch it right now.
You know, I
They list
don't.
a lot of ass is like fat in that movie.
I don't remember that movie at all.
Yes,
So when
I
we
remember
do
that.
when we do
I
that,
remember that movie very well.
I'm gonna be very
I seen
excited
it-
to see that ass.
I just see it.
I might just watch it tonight now.
No.
I just
Oh.
remember they were
What's his
all
name?
crawling into a vent. That's the scene.
Yeah,
I
her ass,
remember.
dude. Her
Oh my
ass.
God.
I actually don't even remember the actress. I don't even remember what she looks like. I just remember that ass.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
The,
Okay,
the
hey,
other-
stop
was it-
spoiling.
Bobo was in there. Okay.
Stop
Sorry,
spoiling
go
that
ahead.
ass for me. I forgot how that movie went. We should
It went
totally do a review of that. Okay, next movie review, Double Dragon. I'm down.
But we have to play and beat the game without on the hardest.
That doesn't. That doesn't. You can't. It's not.
You
it's
can't,
not
right?
real.
You can't.
You
Yeah,
can't.
Is that Rare that made that game? It probably was.
And then
Alright, go
after-
on.
Rare has a license now, but I think back then there was a clean.
Oh yeah, I think so.
No.
Then what did I write here? Then I put what's with DJ's weird face with these bad dancers? Because remember the dancers come and DJ's like, "Ugh," like
DJ's the only one that's like, hey, don't you guys think these guys
That's
look familiar? Remember
right?
those guys we saw on the screen when we were talking to Guile?
then I put here Ryu mentioned their sensei nice because he mentions to Ken how like they haven't been very honorable like when their sensei taught them, and I was like, oh, look at that, actually like adding lore into here and mentioning the fact that they are con men and not what they're supposed to be, like just honorable good fighting men.
it's just Shaolin soccer, but with
And then like I love this part because that's when Bison he's like instead of paying you, what if I gave you owned a piece of the country with me and a piece of the world with me? And Sagat's like, well, if I don't know how much of the world is left, just pay me, fool. And then
Sagat's a good businessman, by the way.
And so he goes, so Bison's like, well, can I interest you in some Bison dollars? And Sagat was like, yo.
What is this trash?
He goes, Sagat goes, can't buy weed and pussy with Bison dollars, man. Like,
did he say that?
No. That's a Dave Chappelle quote.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, I was like, because the dickhead quote caught me off earlier. I was like,
no, yeah, he actually did say dickhead.
Yeah, he did say that.
Yeah, but Bison dollars, no, that was a Dave Chappelle quote when they was making fun of Disney dollars. Yeah, but then so like when they got locked up, and then like Ken was like, "Hey, you're Edwin Honda," and I thought this was so cool because like I mentioned how like he's not Japanese, so then they kind of changed it and then said they made him Hawaiian. But he's still sumo, so I was like, okay, I can buy that. You can be Hawaiian and be sumo. But what was cool was he says, "Hey, you're Edwin Honda. You're championship like sumo wrestler." And then Balrog goes, "Yeah, you almost beat Yokozuna for the title." I was like, what? They're mentioning Yokozuna, who also is not Japanese and who is actually Samoan and the brother of Rikishi, who is also not Japanese.
But oh shit. As a title though, like you can.
Oh, yeah, Yokozuna is a title. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. Oh, I got all excited for wrestling references. And then so like that's when they come back, and then they see the Chun-Li's broadcast with the truck like coming to blow things up.
Why would you give him time to react, stupid? Like,
yeah, right.
Should have been on like a 5-second delay or something,
right? And then like so much time, and then Zangief's like they're all looking back at the truck happening, and that's when Zangief has like one of the best lines of the movie, right? Click, change the channel.
That's like one of the like if AFI ever does another like top 100 quotes in film history, Zangief should be in top 10 at least for that line.
And then for some reason, like Chun-Li, Balrog, and E Honda gets captured. And I was like, wait, what? And one, how did they get captured? And two, how does that count as Ryu and Ken betraying them? Because all they did was like they just said they're inside that closet, which they weren't. It was a TV. So
yeah.
How did they get captured, and how did Ryu betray them? I don't get it.
Or all they did was make a comment that there's traitors among you.
Yeah, and then they pointed out a closet. You know what I mean?
But like the TV gave them all the info.
Exactly. The TV gave them away, not Ryu and Ken, so why are they mad at them?
Why are we arguing like this movie makes sense?
It's so stupid. We have to, man. That's what a podcast is for. I put Man Sawada. Is his voice dubbed? I think I think so. Oh no, Louis just left. Okay, now we can go talk.
He got captured by
forget this
Bison satellite.
Oh, dude, and then like Balrog and E Honda are just like in jail, right? And it was hilarious because first like he's getting whipped, and then they kept playing Hawaiian music for some reason. And then like he goes, "Yeah, I'm sumo, brother. My body's in one place, my mind's in another." But then he goes, "So can you tell him to bring back a pizza next time?" But then like here's the part like where I think a lot of us didn't realize was,
give me a hand.
Yeah, okay, because he was like trying to break the chains, and he's like, "Hey, Honda, give me a hand," and he goes, "We've only been in jail for 2 hours. Maybe next month."
That's like. I'm so glad he said.
Like,
it could have been like really like. Kind of homophobic, but the fact that he said maybe next month, nice one,
right? Oh, that was a good joke.
Yeah.
Although I will say, we'll get on to the next scene, but I'll comment.
I never understood that one until like when I watched it right now.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yesterday. Yeah. The day before yesterday.
And then I put, oh man, they got their gis. So we got Ryu and Ken in those red and white outfits, which makes no sense that they wear that and everyone else gets to wear it too. It's like, you guys didn't get this from you guys weren't wearing this when you were training before. Like,
it cheapened it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird that like, cause I mean we'll just get to it. There's a Chun-Li scene coming up, and it doesn't really age well with her and Bison, but it's weird that like all these Asian outfits came from Bison. You know, like
Yeah,
Chun Li
sure.
got her costume from Bison. Ryu and Ken got their costume from Bison. It's like, bro,
Bison,
dude.
I got the Asian fetish.
Yeah, right. And also, Bison's supposed to be Asian. Like, I don't know if you've seen Bison in Street Fighter 2. He's supposed to be. He's in Thailand.
Yeah.
But it's whatever.
Mike Bison.
Mike Bison, man. Mike Bison. Oh man.
That's the original name, man. Mike
yeah,
Bison.
it was, but it's not
Mike
even supposed to be
Bison,
his. His name's supposed to be
Yeah,
Vega.
that's Balrog's name.
Vega.
Yeah, and then that's when they tell him to stand down, and they're like, "We're just gonna pay the $20 billion," and he's like, "Have you lost your mind? No, you've lost your balls." Oh man.
Oh, he gives this. Oh, okay. So doesn't that guy who who says to end the attack, is he the same guy from Ace Ventura 2 when Nature Calls? The Monopoly Man?
I'm sure he is.
I think he is, right? It's around the same year, a couple of years, yeah.
And then then we get the quote of the movie. Well, I'm not going to say the whole thing, but I'm going to do the last part. And he goes, "Well, I'm not going home. I'm going to get on my boat, and I'm going up the river, and I'm going to kick that son of a bitch Bison's ass so hard that the next Bison wannabe is going to feel it. Now, who wants to go home?
Go home.
And who wants to go with me?
Yeah, Untrained Warrior, just go.
That's like the only time the music fit the movie well, like, because they play like this, like kind of like like I don't know how to explain it. It's kind of like a war, like orchestral, like sadness, and it's uplifting, and he showed like the close up of all the soldiers' faces.
Yeah.
And, like, like my dad, which I thought was kind of funny, and like, I was just like, oh, is he? Oh, because they're in Thailand, right? So they're near Cambodia. Oh, okay, that's probably why my dad's in this film. Yeah.
You're like, Dad, why are you in this movie?
Hey, I could have gone home, but I wanted to go with him. Yeah.
Does anyone else have Fight Cade in here?
Huh?
Does anyone else have Fight Cade?
Fightcade?
No, I don't have 5K. No.
It's basically an emulator for like retro fighting games.
It's
We can play the live action Street Fighter game.
Oh, dude, I'm so 100% down.
Yes.
Okay, I'm
I have
gonna
never
download
played
that.
it.
I'm gonna download that later.
You know what? Oh man.
Hell yeah.
Okay, I'm down.
Okay,
I want to play
I'm
Akuma.
Yeah.
Akuma looks
He's broken. He's so broken. He's
skinny. Akuma. You can't even hit him.
It's Byron Man in a red wig.
Really? That can't be right.
I don't know. I don't know who the body, but it looks like him.
Then I put Guile just did the driving by on a wet street to those people.
Yeah, the 90s.
Oh yeah, just beat the turn.
Yeah.
How far does that go back in film? Like, what's the earliest you guys ever seen it?
I don't even know. Then that's when we get Bison, like with Chun-Li, and she's in that outfit for some reason. So it's like, did you make her change into that before you guys went to your room?
Yeah.
And then so
he did her hair and everything.
Right? Stand still, dear. I need to do your buns correctly. Yeah.
That scene alone, how like Guile's having a hard time like kicking his ass, and she was in there, and like she was about to beat him too. Like she moved his ass.
Yeah,
right.
It was so sad.
But before that, Bison has a pretty good line. I'd say like that's probably my favorite line in the whole
Tuesday
movie.
one. Tuesday one.
Yeah.
That's such a sick line.
It's such a crazy line because, he says like the day that Bison was
the poor day of life for me.
Oh shoot, like honored your town or something like that. Yeah, graced your town. Yeah, it was the most important day of your life, but for me it was a Tuesday. And it was just like, dang, that was like cold-blooded.
He would have been even more disrespectful if he said Taco Tuesday. Like that would have been so messed up. Like just him eating. Who died just now?
And then he pulls one out. Just
hey, he probably does have snacks in there. You gotta.
Can we talk about how he had his like lounge hat too? Like he had, multiple hats.
He had his Hugh Hefner coat on and everything.
Yeah.
He's about to get down, man.
Yeah, this fool was gonna try to try some stuff with Chun-Li, and then she ends up breaking it and like kicking his ass. And I put, and then
Kick his ass.
of course that's when they mess it up for her. Like Lee.
How did they find them? First of all,
Right?
Second of all, like, it's kind of funny because like, there's no way Bison is that quick. Like,
Yeah.
this dude ran in, and then they got trapped in for some reason. He just happens to have trap doors everywhere, which I guess that does make sense because he owns like he does slave labor. So
Yeah, and then he poison gases them and.
Poison gas.
And then
You
I
think
think I
so?
put
Like,
it's great how like Honda couldn't like separate his mind there.
Right?
Fuck the table.
I'm about to astral project myself really quick.
Honda like would not give up on that door. He was like, ugh.
Yeah.
There's the last one standing. He's like, still trying to go at it. Damn this plexiglass.
Yeah, I mean, if I were gonna trust
metal
anyone,
windows.
if I were gonna trust anyone to break that plexiglass, it would be E Honda, not bad hairline Balrog.
Scrawny Balrog.
Yeah.
Dude, he was so lanky too.
And I put here, geez, waiting for Guile takes forever. And I think this is where like the part of the movie just like gets so it starts to drag on so much. It's like when they're like waiting for Guile, because to me this was like watching like 10 episodes of Dragon Ball Z while they're all waiting for Goku to show up. Like that's literally what
when he's like climbing down that well.
Oh my god. Just everything just took forever. And then like and then I was like,
how does he know that well goes to that temple?
And he's in his
Yeah, that's why it took him so
boat.
long. He had to navigate the way through and like he just
Yeah.
figured it out, man.
And he goes
No.
and then
Like
like
it's too crazy.
he plays a video of like him and Charlie. I'm like, wait, what kind of video was that? Was that like a Betamax or like I don't even know what was that?
Why
What
would
kind
you
of
have that in a?
Why would you have that? He has the VHS already ready to go.
Yeah.
He's like watching it.
Oh my god. And then yeah, then I put oh geez, look at Blanca.
Also,
looks so bad.
look at Lou Ferrigno over here with his incredible
Five-head
Hulk
Blanca,
outfit.
Dude, the thing looks so.
Such a
The
horrible
girl-
Oh my god.
costume.
the girl
Yeah.
who plays Guile's date in that that flashback, that VHS tape is Jean-Claude Van Damme's wife.
Yeah, the one that he was cheating on with Kylie Minogue
Yes.
while watching
Nice.
this movie.
Darcy Lapierre.
Had them both on set at the same time. He probably fucked
Damn.
one and then went and fucked the other one.
You think he like put that video on? He was like, "Oh right, I'm married."
And then that's when and I put green screen with stealth. So like they had to green screen their boat, and then they found out that they were there, and then he says, "Your ass is 6 months overdue, and I'm here to claim it."
I'm gonna steal that line one day. Like if I ever end up in the fight, and somehow I can, somehow I win, I'll say that.
And then that's when what Sagat was like, Guile's still alive, but how? And he's like, use Ryu and Ken to win you over so they could get you here. But I guess you didn't see that, didn't you?
Jeez. So ableist. Oh my god.
Oh, it was great. Oh, it was great. And I put Bison Koopa Clown Car.
Yeah.
He totally has it. And I put LOL arcade stick. So this is the actual Street Fighter 2 arcade stick, the original one.
Yeah, dude.
And
Mhm.
Fucking Bison's a button masher, man.
he's
Yeah.
right.
Disappointed.
And he's like,
How you
using
gonna be
it
how can you be a charge character in Button Mass? Stupid. You're not gonna get anything out, dumbass.
Yeah, did you notice how he had to push 8 buttons at one time just to launch one of the mines? Like, what was up with that? You couldn't just be
Oh,
like,
yeah, I saw that. It's either A or it's either go or don't go. Like it's not rocket science. Come on, Bison.
yeah, and then he goes and blows them up. Game over.
Oh, it's so good. It's
Oh,
so
dude,
good.
Raul Julia, man, that guy's the best. And then when those guards are just there laughing, and then Guile and them just beat them up. And I put, what move did Cammy just use? Because it sounded like she said flash kick. It legit sounded like she said flash kick, and I was like,
pretty
you don't use
sure-
flash kick. You say cannon
I
heal.
think she's getting cannon spike.
Okay,
Cannon spike,
probably.
yeah.
it
That's her
says,
move.
she says flash kick. I swear to God.
I wouldn't be surprised. Or unless he says,
Yeah, I wish it was funny because Jonathan dropped me off this terrible Blu-ray 7 o'clock this morning, and I just woke up.
You see all the
And then
discounts on there.
and then Yeah, this is $5.99. You paid $5.99 too much.
Oh, I thought it said $5. I could have sworn someone gave me
I found
that.
a stream without subtitles. I'd have to like look up like the Blu-ray or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But when I was watching it, I wish I did watch the Blu-ray because I needed subtitles.
I said I gave you the movie and you still didn't even watch it. Yeah. Yeah, and then so I guess this is when like he runs into Blanca, right? And and in my notes I put Charlie, it's me. I didn't even put Charlie. There's no R in there. I just put Charlie.
Charlie.
It's
I'm a
me.
friend.
I like how like he's a cookie monster apparently. He's
Yeah.
is he cookie?
And then he's like crying on the. It looked like he was trying to do the electrical attack, but just crying instead. Like he was like, and I put, geez, Guile, what the fuck? Don't kill your friend.
What the F?
Yeah, okay.
He's about to put him out of misery too. I was like, oh
Yeah.
god.
He goes, I'll help you. Like, I was like,
Yeah, help him.
"Jeez."
He's not like injured. If anything, he can help you. He has electricity powers and
Right?
he's
And
the
then
perfect
Dawson.
soldier.
Well, no one
Daw-
did that.
Yeah, I mean, luckily Dr. Dawson was there. No.
Ooh, by
That's
the way,
literally how he stopped him. He goes, no.
I like how Dr. Dawson's reasoning is so like concrete, like it makes so much sense. And then later on, he just does a total 180 and it's just like,
Oh
yeah,
my God. I
can
totally
die.
didn't even mention this. The stuff that they were making Blanca watch, right? Like, I remembered as a kid, I was like going, wait, why did he turn green if he was just watching evil things? But then also, but I didn't realize that they brought out that cart of like mutagen and chemicals.
Yeah.
I totally forgot
Orange
about that
and
part.
green.
And so when Dawson
Oh.
when Dawson actually like bumps into, he gets it all over himself, and I didn't know that, and I was like, oh my God, because that actually like plays into something later.
Oh, yeah.
Because apparently, like with that scene, remember how like later on in the movie he just shows up like bald headed. Apparently, there's a scene that's deleted from that where he actually like you see his hair fall out, and then his arms start to stretch, and so like that was supposed to be a setup for his stretchy arms.
Wow. Even if you don't have a costume, Bison still gives you a costume. Good job.
And then I put here Mortal Kombat spikes when the spikes were raising up
Yeah,
to
I
like
was like,
trap
oh,
Blanca. And then I put how'd Guile jump that far? Like
he slingshot himself out of that chamber. And
Yeah,
just
just-
50 feet kicked him.
Yeah, like how did he do that? Like just to kick Bison. And so apparently if you look at that scene again, that's not even Jean-Claude Van Damme like doing that jump. Like it's some totally different guy. And then you just all of a sudden see him kicking Bison. It's hilarious.
It's actually Guy from Final Fight. Yeah.
And my next note here is, there's blood on Honda's face instead of red paint. Oh my God. And I put, oh my God, the hole they fell in with Honda and Zangief. What the
It was
fuck?
like a cutout, and then you see
Yeah.
rubber, like a rubber cover, and they just fell through it. And I was like, oh god.
So stupid. He does like Mark Henry's World's Strongest Slam like onto the floor, and then all of a sudden like the floor just goes like it looks like those when you put like a straw in those like rubber cups.
Oh.
That's literally what
Yeah,
it
it just bent open, like it just like
looks
So-
so
it was like a rubber
stupid.
pad or something. It just went
Yeah,
through it.
like
It looked so
who
stupid.
made your floors?
it kind of reminds me of that what is it that one monster from Star Wars, like the original trilogy, where like he comes out of the sand. Anyways, this is when like the references start to come in. So I believe when Honda comes through the brick wall, that's the cover art of one of the versions.
Oh
of
yeah.
Yeah. We start to see a few more, but I'll point them out when we get to the fights. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm like 99% sure that's a reference.
I love this
all
part.
all the references come through the last fight scenes.
I love that part, and then Bison was like, "We shall face shit together, DJ, as warriors." And DJ's just like, and he just pieces out.
He's even booking, dude. He's running.
He just
Yeah.
like slowly walks away. It's so funny.
So good.
And I put
It's-
Ella.
all the best actors were on Bison's side. I just realized Bison, DJ, Zangief,
Right.
Sagat Vega.
He tested the goods really well.
I love that part. LOL, Guile and his knife. when he thought he was scaring those guys. The army was just behind him. Then I put LOL Godzilla sounds. So they had Captain Sawada and like this Japanese girl like
This is
go.
the best scene in the movie.
That was so racist. Like it was so racist.
I don't care.
Right?
It's like the one like the Japanese girl calls out Sawada and then just watches her scream. It was just,
that
they had
was
like
so bad.
Godzilla screaming and just kicking over the Tomorrowland of like
Yeah,
Bison
with the expanded food court. Like
I think it's funny how I was complaining about all the like racism in this movie, and then this is like my favorite scene.
And
It's-
then, I watched that
I
going
love it.
like, I don't know if this is racist or if Capcom themselves were just like, "Haha, that's funny, Godzilla."
Well, they set it up really well because all the fight scenes before that, it was all slow motion with Zangief and Honda, and I'm like, oh, this is cool. This is kind of like a kaiju fight scene, and I totally forgot that scene, and it showed up. And what's funny is the subtitles didn't show up. Did you guys get subtitles for that? Because I didn't get subtitles in my version apparently.
I think
but...
I turned it on accident, but
I
why?
didn't
What's
have
up?
it.
Okay. So I didn't get mine, but I understood everything they said because it was pretty obvious what they were talking about, like just from their body language. I was like, wow, I can understand these Japanese people with no subtitles better than Jean-Claude Van Damme's Guile. Like this is so good. I love it. Perfect scene.
The next I put, did they play that same roundhouse kick twice? It was Guile versus Bison. LOL flash kick twice.
So that roundhouse kick is the flash kick. Yeah, that's another cool.
They copied and pasted that scene.
They
Like,
really
that split
did,
kick he
man.
does. He did that Guile split kick.
Mm-hmm.
Or the Jean-Claude Van Damme split kick that was known for it.
And he goes, and I love that. And then he goes and kills him, and then he's like talking to Cammy, and he's like, Colonel, how are you? And he's like, I'm feeling half dead. And he's like, and Bison, all dead.
All dead. Yeah. All dead.
Why?
And
How
then-
do you go from it's Tuesday to all dead? Like, is that the same writer?
And then it is actually, but you know what's crazy? That writer's the same person who wrote Die Hard 1 and 2. So you know what I mean?
Nice. Okay.
And then like for some reason Bison has like a resuscitation machine inside of his chest.
Yeah, dude.
Is this fool's like this? He had like mice running up down his shirt, like pumping him with adrenaline or
Umbrella
something,
mice.
and like using defibrillators on him. And then he goes and gets up, and then he then all of a sudden he has like he has the Emperor Palpatine's powers, like with his lightning
Yeah,
hands.
he could have started with
Lightning
that. Like it was just he had to get
Right, yeah.
resuscitated for him to have powers.
Yeah,
I
right.
love like he was using like the stupid ass like the sad ass psycho crushing he did. He did like 5 times, and God just stood there kept getting hit.
And it was like
he was like 50 feet away, and he flew that guy.
Yeah, and it wasn't even flying fast too. I will appreciate the fact that they got him to levitate because he does levitate in the games, but it's like, yeah, and then he goes like, oh, this is electromagnetism, like, you know, they use these on bullet trains in Japan, and he's all just like, then he's just like, I'm a god, and he's like floating, and then like it's always the same. It always looked like it's the same exact like shot of him going. Like flying towards the camera, oh so slowly, and Guile just constantly gets hit. Like, why?
Like, he just stepped to the side. He didn't even do that. He was like,
Yeah,
"Ah."
right. No, Guile's playing. He's so used to playing in 2D. He just doesn't know how to side.
Yeah.
Tekken wasn't invented yet. So,
Yeah.
well, what's funny though is the move that Guile uses to beat Bison is well, Johnny, do you want to describe that scene? I'll explain what that
We're
move
not
is.
there yet, but yeah, and so like I just put LOL dat Psycho Crusher. Then DJ's like, oh, I should have never left Microsoft. Like, I was like, damn,
Why
I
would-
used to work for Microsoft.
Are you
And
trying to say Microsoft is evil? Like, that's fine.
and he goes and finds the chest of money, and he goes, Mama didn't raise no bitch. Like, and he goes, leave.
Mama didn't raise no fool.
And I put what I put next. Yo, Ryu is ripped. Because it's when he's like fighting. Oh yeah, because oh my god, you remember that part when they were trying to leave, and then Ken is like, "Where are you going?" He's like,
"Get out of there! It's a trap."
"There's people
He's like,
up there fighting," and he's like,
How did he?
Oh no! Oh,
"No, you
when
remember
they
that?
split?
Yeah, when they split, and
I'll
he's
get
like,
you.
"I found something worth fighting for," and he goes, "I don't understand."
He says that like
Ken
such a
was
child.
speaking for all of us.
I don't
you
understand.
don't. I know you don't. Yeah, and then that's when like he sees like Ryu, and then he's like, Ryu, you're running into
Amigo.
a trap.
Amigo, get out of here right
He's like speaking Spanish.
Why are you...
I'm Chinese, but I'm supposed to be Japanese, Ken.
And he's at first I'm like, why would he hear you? You don't have a microphone. And he brings out a microphone and it still doesn't work. I'm like, wait, what? Why bring out the microphone then? Stupid.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Yeah, and then that's when like Ryu and Ken take on Sagat and Vega, and I put Hadouken, which I guess apparently Capcom was like they were very adamant, and they said we want you guys to put like the Hadouken in this movie, and so like that's all that they could. Yeah, that's all they could do is just like a flash. That's all they could do.
That's all the money left.
The thing is like. So, okay, well, there's a couple of references. I'm pretty sure Sagat does Tiger Knee. He doesn't go very far, but he does it. What's cool is Vega does the roll forward into... it's a very slow roll because it's real life, but he does a great job. He does it twice, actually. It's not copy and paste, so I'm pretty happy about that. But, like, and then they also get Vega's scars, because I think Vega in canon also has scars, and... That's how he gets his scar, from putting his face inside that, what is it, like a fireplace or like a oven?
A furnace. Yeah. Essentially like a furnace.
And that would have been a great way to make Ryu throw out a fireball. Like he could have like maybe got his hands damaged or whatever and like get lit on fire and I don't know. That would have been better
like
than...
a really dumb idea.
I mean, if you're gonna do it close range, like right next to them, you might as well just light your hands on fire at that point.
I don't know why I'm imagining like Vega kicking Ryu to the furnace, and he just like reaches in there, grabs something, goes Hadouken, grabs like a coal or something.
Okay, that would have. Is he wearing gloves? I think he's wearing gloves. Right?
He wasn't though. At least I don't think he was. Yeah, and then I put weak ass Shoryuken, because Ken does it. But if you notice later on, Sagat has like a scar across his chest, like, so I guess he got that from Ken, which is totally not correct because it's supposed to be Ryu. And then I put Tatsumaki, so Ryu beats Vega with the Tatsumaki.
A one kick Tatsumaki, a light version.
It was literally just one single spin.
But the way they shot it, like I'm kind of glad they shot it from that angle because. There's no way you can make that look cool unless like you got like a Taekwondo dude to come out and.
And then that's when like Zangief is like, DJ, where are you going with the enemies of freedom and peace are escaping? And he's like, hey, are you stupid? Those are the good guys. Our boss is the evil one. And then he's all like, so why did you do it? Because he paid me a fortune, you moron. And he's like,
this is probably the best line in the movie.
Got paid?
Before,
so good.
Before Meet the Millers, that was the we got paid meme.
You got paid? Oh my god, it's so funny.
He's so confused.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's hilarious.
Like heartbroken, man. He's like, wait.
General Bison is a bad guy?
I wanna see like a novel, like a 1,000-page novel of this movie, but it's all from Zangief's perspective.
Oh my god.
Like, well,
today I wake up
like 2 pages from Zangief.
Oh dude. Well, speaking of good casting, this guy I think was a great like cast for Zangief. Then Zangief goes and helps them as they escape, and then that's when like Cammy and Chun-Li have that weird thing. But I didn't realize that it's because I think Cammy makes fun of something Chun-Li was wearing prior.
The pigtails.
And no, prior to that. Like before that, I think she made fun of her for wearing the black suit or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then so this was Chun-Li's supposed to be like her rebuttal was like pigtails, really? And she was, look who's talking. And Chun-Li's like, aw. That's so stupid. And then then I was like, then Zangief goes and helps them with the wall, and then I put here, why did Ken and Zangief need to hug after that? And then I put when like
both, oh, yeah.
when they thought Guile was dead, I put, why is Zangief talking about Guile? You were just on the bad guy's side like 5 minutes ago. Why are all of a sudden like?
Well, but from Zangief's perspective, he was always the good guy.
Yeah.
So.
All right, Brave Brayloom in the chat. Sorry you couldn't join us longer. Thanks for coming in though, man.
Oh shoot!
Brayloom.
Brayloom. We're gonna watch that music video. For next
do next week. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then DJ gets sad because he realizes it's all just Bison dollars and Sagat laughs at him. He's like, severance pay.
So
it's just like
that's
making it
also
rain.
the only time you see Sagat shirtless, and notice that they only record from the backside. It's almost like they don't want to show the front side.
Start eating.
Yeah.
And then that's when Chun-Li says, so Guile. Oh, and then Guile's alive. Oh, wait. So what did you want to say about Guile? So Guile delivers the final blow to M. Bison when Bison tries to do another Psycho Crusher. And then he kicks him, right? You said you wanted to mention something about that?
So when you're a Guile main, there's a move that you use called Sobot Kick. So what Sobot Kick is when you jump and do a kick. But you can do a Sobot Kick back. So the only reason you have that move is that you can kick while holding charge backwards. That's it, because you have to hold back and kick. So this guy killed him with the move that, like, it's not even a move that you're supposed to hurt your opponent with. It just helps you dash backwards. That's it. That's the only reason that move exists. He killed him with a back dash. And then, also, shout out to they added the bell from Bison's stage.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And he was hitting Bison's hat on it, yeah.
Yeah. This is for Charlie. This is for Carlos. This is for Blanca.
And then that's when Chun-Li's he's alive, and then you see him flirting with Cammy and then Chun-Li right after.
Both
of them in the same scene. Yeah, and then that's when she says, like, you know, can I get that interview? And he's like, only if you wear that dress.
Why? You're a family man.
I put, why are they happy that the temple blew up? That poor temple. And then here's
like
the thing.
Angkor Wat too. That's like a historical temple.
So here's the thing that Ryu actually brought to my attention, that apparently in the re-release of this movie, there is an after credit scene in this movie.
No, it's in the original too.
No, it's not. It's not in the original because they
not?
never aired it in the theaters because Raul Julia died, prior to the movie being released. So there is an actual after credit scene with M. Bison like doing the Super Shredder thing where he like bursts his hands through like the rubble and like welcome back, General Bison. Yeah,
it's pretty cool actually. They did a great job on it. Like, you know, as because I was telling Johnny this the other day, as a kid, like the idea of a post-credit scene is ridiculous. Like it's super hype. I mean, I remember, you know, getting hyped for the things before the movie, right? Because like we would have to watch, you know, all the Disney trailers before the feature film, whatever. Yeah. But like it's almost like a it was just so alien to see like something after the movie ended. Like I can't even remember it. Like I'm sure there were other post-credit scenes. I can't remember anything that comes to mind from the 90s.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. So like apparently this movie it was intended to have a sequel, but then, you know, when Raul Julia passed away, and then like I guess all the other issues, they were just like, nah, we won't do one. Yeah. But apparently I had heard that Jean-Claude Van Damme in 2003 did fight to actually make a sequel to this movie, but then like I think the rights ended up being like sold from Universal to Fox so that they can make that really, really bad movie, The Legend of Chun-Li.
Oh,
really
God!
bad.
Oh man, I was supposed to make a joke about watching that movie instead of this one.
Oh my God, dude, no.
You can still make it.
No, I don't. No, this is one of those Annihilation things, man, where I don't know. We cannot watch that movie.
Oh, Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
Yeah, I don't think I want to watch Chris Klein give that stupid speech about rain drops or something, no, I'm good, man.
Raindrops keep falling on my head.
I like how they like. I remember like seeing a scene from The Legend of Chun-Li, and they treat her fireball like a freaking kamehameha. Like, you must learn this fireball technique in order to defeat your enemy. And I'm like, bro, like you can use that like, like 50 times in one round, dude. Like it's just what half circle forward. Like you should be all right. Like, bro.
Yeah, I mean it's one of those things that you've mentioned, Ryu, before. You're like, why isn't in movies they always like have to take forever to charge up their fireballs? And so that's why we
Avatar,
were so appreciative of the Mortal Kombat, the new movie, because they're just shooting them like it's nothing. Like Liu Kang is just shooting fireballs like, like he does in the games. So yeah, and that's the Street Fighter live action movie, guys. Sorry for making you watch it, but at the same time, I had fun. I had fun watching it. Like I was laughing like most of the time.
I remember going to the movie like, I know that it's bad, so I can enjoy it for sure, right? And then like the first like 2/3 of the movie, I was like, I am not enjoying this. And then right after, once they get to Bison's lair, that's kind of when all the fun starts, because they're all in the same group. They have good comedic chemistry. A lot of the people that were paired up, Ken and Ryu, even though Sagat and Vega didn't really do anything together, they looked cool together. Zangief, DJ, Bison were great together. And that Dawson was hilarious. Chun-Li, Cammy also, like they had short dialogue together, but it was really funny. So, and also one thing I will say, I really liked how T-Hawk at one point like switches to a Native American bandana.
Cherokee bandana.
Cherokee, yeah. And Guile literally asks him, like, hey, what's that? He's
Look,
like,
man.
Cherokee, it's good for your look. I'm like, that's super cool. Like,
Yep.
You didn't have to put that in the movie. You could have just made him wear it randomly, or not even have him wear it at all,
Yeah.
So.
I did appreciate. I realized watching this again that they actually like tried to incorporate as much as they could, and then like explain certain things of why like with E Honda is like not being Japanese but Hawaiian instead.
Right.
And I was like, okay,
Right,
I'm cool with that, because apparently the director was actually, or the writer was also a fan of Street Fighter the games. So.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well.
You can kind of tell a little bit.
Does T and T-Hawk stand for Tama?
I thought it's Thunder.
Thunder, yeah.
Tomahawk?
I wish it was Tomo, because he doesn't have a tomahawk, right? So
he doesn't use one.
No, I wish T-Hawk did like one of his signature moves, because all of his moves are so wacky. So there's one.
Just like spinning him in the air. And just,
we call that one.
Or
my friend calls it it's I don't want to say it.
The windmill throw, dude.
He calls it the casino. Or
The roulette.
The roulette, yeah.
Oh
and I'm like,
God.
not because he's Native American, I swear, but it's just.
You said that, not us.
I didn't, yeah. So, but like, and then him and Honda both have that like forward, like head first move.
Yeah, he has like
Honda,
he has like a dive kick, but not so much a kick.
It's not even a kick. It's
Aerial
like a
dive.
head first thing, isn't it? I was wondering that too.
Like, he puts his arms out.
I was like, are they gonna just make it where he just jumps off of a ledge and just like
that would
crashes
have been
into
sick.
someone?
I would have taken anything at that point. Also, Cammy does a one of her signature like neck. I think she kills someone. I think she literally snaps someone's neck, and then she punches
flips him over.
Okay,
she
yeah,
kills
that's right.
him, and then she punches him when he's dead. Like, I don't know why would you do that?
So
right,
final thoughts about this Street Fighter movie before we close out tonight?
No.
No.
God, no.
4 out of 10. 5 out of 10. You know what? 10 out of 10 for Raul Julia.
Yeah, right. It's like I don't know how I want to rate this, but Raul Julia really was this movie, and Jean-Claude's coked out acting was. You know what I mean? It's like some of you end up going to go do some good things like Ming Na Wen. You get to be Mulan after this, so like
it's one of those movies where you have to you could rate it by the character, like Raul Julia by the actor. Raul Julia 10 out of 10. Zangief 10 out of 10.
The best.
DJ 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess that will conclude our discussion tonight for Street Fighter the movie. I don't want to give it a rating. I honestly don't, just because it's like it's one of those things where it's like I don't even know if I consider this a guilty pleasure, because as a kid I remembered loving it, but then of course know that's just when I'm a dumb kid. But now I'm just like, yeah, I don't know if I'd ever watch that movie ever again.
now that I'm a dumb adult, I still don't know.
I'll just go on YouTube and look up funny scenes, if anything.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna ever watch this movie again. Lewis, like, you could keep that copy I gave you, Lewis.
Put in the trash right now, dude.
If we're gonna be honest, then I only really have to watch the movie.
You what?
That's good.
Like the movie didn't have my full attention the whole time.
Don't worry. The movie is better if you didn't watch it.
Yeah. Cool. Also, that trash can deserves better treatment, but whatever.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in to us here tonight, or if you're watching or listening later on. But yeah, be sure to follow us on Twitter at Metro King Radio. Download our podcast wherever you download podcasts, like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Play, iTunes, or Animal Crossing Pocket Cast. Subscribe to us here on YouTube at Metro Kingdom Radio. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell us how much you like this movie. And
how many times have you seen it?
How many times?
How old were you when it came out?
Where were you?
And if you want us to watch this movie again, unsubscribe.
Let us know if you actually want us to watch the Double Dragon movie, because I'm kind of half serious about watching that.
It's free on Prime Video right now, so.
Oh my God! Next week.
We gotta do it.
There's no news at all.
By the way, like, you watch the whole movie, you have to get over the fact that they mixed up Jimmy and Billy. They gave him the names with the wrong colors.
Oh jeez.
Oh my God. Hey, this will be the first time I watched a movie from the '90s for Metro Kingdom Radio. Legally, so. Got my Prime Video.
One day we're gonna watch that Super Mario Brothers movie.
No, we're not.
One day.
Isn't it where video game movies make like the best, like the making of stories, like
right? They really do.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for listening to us, and until next time, we shall catch you.
Oh, bye.
On the Switch side.
I'm dropping off your garbage.
Garbage.
Quick, subscribe to the channel.
Garbage implies that it had value at one point, though. So.
Well, I mean, anything that belongs to garbage, like you can.
Raul Julia was in it, so I guess that's true.
Yeah, I'll just cut this part out, and then I'll just throw away the rest.
So we should make a poster. I'll always have a poster of a Street Fighter movie, but like just cut out Jean-Claude Van Damme.
I'm going on my computer to YouTube.com. I'm going to click.
We didn't talk about like right when the scene ended. Like everyone did like their like winning pose as a
Captain
group.
Sawada was in it for some reason. Like he's not even one of the
like this. Like
that's why.
That's what Ryu's supposed to look like.
I'm going to click on Metro Kingdom Radio.
Hey Rob, can you look that again, Rob?
And I'm going to subscribe so hard that the next follower is going to feel it.
Why does that look like Captain Sawada? That's weird.